Good morning, Northern Hills. This morning, I want us to look at a passage of Scripture and something I've been thinking about that, well, to be honest, I probably would have never paid a lot of attention to if we weren't living in this current situation. If we weren't having to try all these new things and adjust our lives in all these different ways, I probably wouldn't have paid attention to this. But God is gracious, and He even uses just the normal, well, this is not normal, I guess, but He uses the events of our lives to help us understand His Word better. So this morning, I want to read from Exodus. I'm going to read specifically Exodus chapter 19, and I'm going to read verses 10 and 11. And the Lord told Moses, "Go to the people and consecrate them today and tomorrow. They must wash their clothes and be prepared by the third day. For on the third day the Lord will come down on Mount Sinai in sight of all the people." Exodus chapter 20 is when the Ten Commandments are given. This instruction that God gives to Moses to tell the people of Israel is to prepare them for this great moment of worshiping God and the nation hearing the voice of God. And it makes sense to me every time I read that yeah, they should probably prepare for that in some way. Like, hearing the voice of God scares them. Like, it's an intense moment. There's a lot going on. That makes sense. They should prepare. But all of a sudden, it hit me that that's not new information. Right? In Exodus chapter 7, when Moses goes before Pharaoh and is saying, "Pharaoh, you need to let God's people go," it's so that they might go out in the wilderness and worship Him. These people knew they were leaving Egypt to go out into the wilderness and worship the one true God. And a lot happened. Like, that wasn't just the next couple of days. Like, there was a lot of things that took place. You got water from a rock. God was providing food, and like all this was taking place. And there had been a period of time where they knew we have left Egypt. They crossed the Red Sea in that time. They had left Egypt and had made already the significant journey, and the entire time knowing we are doing this so that we might go worship. And yet God still sends a reminder. Moses, they need to take 2 days to really prepare. And, well, I don't know about y'all in this, but Sundays are different. And I've had conversations with friends that, Sundays, the first few of them, we all weren't meeting together. There was, a little bit of, excitement mixed with the sadness of, hey, we're doing this in a new way. I get to stay at home. I get to, we get to hear the sermon and we get to sing all sitting on the couch, and I don't even have to get out of my pajamas, and this will be great. But there's also a realization that it's harder now. That it's harder for us to pay attention. It's harder for us to prepare our hearts to worship. And naturally, we're out of the rhythms of it. Our life will distract us from worshiping God. We are sinful creatures living in a fallen world. So I think we need to have an honest moment that if God had told Israel, "You're going to take this journey to go out and worship me," and He still paused for a few days and said, "Hey, now you need to really prepare," that we need to be okay that we probably need to prepare to worship, even in this situation. A lot of those comes down to practical things. At least when you have a 10-year-old in the house, they come down to practical things. Going to bed at a decent hour before on Saturday before, making sure we have anything we would need in front of us to take notes or to have a drink, or go to the bathroom beforehand because it's super easy and convenient to just jump up and go down the hall in your own house. But all those things distract. I know I'm not the only one, and I don't think the few people I've talked to are the only members and believers that are struggling with how to worship and pay attention as we now listen to live streams and sing with all the people in our house. So I would encourage you this week to sit down as a family and plan out, how are we going to make Sunday the best it can be for the situation we're in? How are we going to spend our time in the week leading up and Sunday morning beforehand, preparing ourselves to worship the one true living God?